Well, hey there, Chadster.
Hi.
Welcome to the Candid Athletic Training Podcast. I'm Kevin. This is Chad.
Oh, you know what?
What do you got?
We got a button for that.
Hit a button.
I don't know where I put it.
Oh gosh, there's too many buttons now.
Well, here it is. It's right there.
Oh, there it is.
It's just got our names backwards.
I can go by Chad today.
I gotta get these graphics right sometime.
What are you doing? Come on, man.
Well, I'm an athletic trainer. I'm not a graphic designer, but we're trying.
Hey, you got multiple degrees. You can figure out
Yeah,
somehow
you're right.
to do
I
this.
do.
Oh, it's the Candid Athletic Training Podcast.
What episode number is this?
206.
206.
I cheated. I looked.
I had to as well.
I mean, we're pretty far into this.
Yeah.
And I think we've finally gotten to a point right now where we have a very exciting show.
It only took 205 episodes.
Exactly. We've gotten to. We got exciting news. We got a great guest.
Yeah, we're going to start the show with our feature topic. And
so stay tuned, because things that we've been promising you is, we're going to try to save you money as athletic trainers.
Yeah, one of our newest sponsors is here, and we're gonna talk.
I think we've all been waiting in anticipation to meet said representative of a wonderful insurance company that is going to save you a bunch of money.
That's a professional tease right there. It's good for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, before we do our feature topic, let's just thank our official sponsor of Candid Athletic Training is Healthy Roster. Check them out at healthyroster.com. They are the premier electronic medical records company in the world. We'll just say it, in the world. They're the best. So if you are thinking about getting a new EMR, if you're looking towards a new platform for next year, if you're planning, don't do anything without checking them out. Check them out at healthyroster.com. Just make sure that you let them know that Kevin and Chad are the ones that said,
please do.
You need to work with them. So
they're the best.
They are.
They're the best. If you're not working with them, you're wrong. I'm just kidding. But check them out. Yeah. I mean, by all means, if you have any questions about how to make your EMR, better for athletic trainers. That's what they're doing.
Yeah. So you know what? We'll thank our other sponsors a little bit, but let's get to the what is it? The main course, the
entree?
The entree. I wanted to say the soup du jour, but that's like soup of the day. And this is bigger than soup. This is way better than soup.
This is not an amuse-bouche at all. We're going full entree right away.
So we're going to go, let's do our feature topic. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Ready? It's totally the wrong music, but that's okay, Kev.
Is it really?
Yeah, you just hit.
Oh,
that's
sorry.
Fine. Yeah, I'm just going. So,
yeah, it's just in an order. I just go in an order on this thing.
All right, so we're gonna put the graphic up first. Okay, so this is our newest sponsor of Candid Athletic Training. It's Athletic Trainer Insurance Plus, and we have Joe here
on the show.
Let's bring Joe on.
Bring on the Joe.
Joe, are you there?
I am. Hello, fellas.
Hello, Joe.
Do you want to introduce yourself and let everyone know who you are?
I do. And by the way, I appreciate the introduction. I agree with you. I can't think of a more interesting topic around athletic training than insurance. So I agree. This has to be considered the entree, right?
It's exhilarating.
Insurance. That's what I think of when I think of athletic training. No, my name is Joe Fagan. I am the Director of Strategic Partnerships for Athletic Trainer Insurance Plus, which is a division of Arthur J. Gallagher, a much larger insurance broker, a global insurance broker. And delighted to partner with you guys and get some exposure to the athletic training community and hopefully help some folks out.
Oh, thank you for being here.
And
this is exciting.
Yeah, and Joe's a super happy guy. He's down in Jacksonville. It's probably the last time I looked at a weather map, it was the only place in the country where anybody was happy. His Jaguars. Are you a Jaguars or Jaguars or It's like potato. It's how do you say it? Jaguars.
Listen,
Jaguars?
If we're winning, you can call us anything you want. I say Jaguars.
The division champions.
Whatever you want.
Jaguar.
Jaguar. That was a Will Ferrell thing, wasn't it? Yeah,
probably.
Saturday Night Live. So Joe's happy. How long have you been with ATIP? Can we say ATIP?
ATIP?
It's funny. That's what we call it internally. So I like that you guys have jumped onto that. I helped this company launch into the insurance business back in 2010 when we first launched our first line of insurance into the massage space, liability insurance massage therapist, helped grow that into the beauty space, into the yoga space, into the personal training and fitness space, and more recently the athletic trainer space, which is something we've been hoping to do for a long time.
And how long have you been in the AT space?
Well, our business about 2 years now.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, so that's great.
It's so fantastic. Joe, just as we're going, we're going to try to keep up with our listeners. They're definitely going to have some questions. We're going to try to, ask those as they come up.
Yeah, we've announced this for a couple of weeks now, and people keep wanting more and more information. We're like, we'll let you know as soon as we know. So, Kev, you want to read the questions as they come in? Go ahead.
Sure. Our boy Dylan, do you all have different rates if an athletic trainer is functioning as needed PRN-AT versus an athletic trainer employed by their company using their company's insurance first and theirs as a secondary insurance? So do you provide insurance as a secondary insurance for PRN athletic trainers? Is another way to ask that.
We do. We actually it's differentiated by the way we call it as employed or self-employed, and that basically is exactly what you had mentioned. Whether you're covered by your company's policy and you need some additional kind of coverage on top of that, and it's a significant difference in cost. Our retail rate for a full-time self-employed athletic trainer is, and this is a full scope of coverage. It's not just PL and GL. There's quite a bit of insurance involved. It's $699 annually, which, by the way, is much less than anything else we've found in the marketplace.
Kevin, Kevin owns his own business. And
yeah,
Kevin,
Joe. So, we're going to have some conversations for sure, probably off air as well. Well, actually, you and my wife will probably have conversation because she handles all the insurance side of our business. But we're having the hardest time finding insurance covering not only what would be like a rehab and gym space, but then also the clinic side of our business. I've been very excited ever since we got hooked up with you guys because I pay for professional liability more than twice what I am now going to pay with you guys. And I've been doing that for 3 years. And because, frankly, I just kept using the same professional liability insurance company that I used when I was working for an employer, and then also even when I was in school. And so I'm very excited that finally there are going to be more options out there.
Yes.
And the fact that you guys are Athletic Trainer Insurance Plus, the fact that you're literally thinking about this unique profession, it just speaks to so many of us that it is a unique profession. A lot of people don't understand what it is, and you're here just naming insurances after it. I love it. It's great. So I'll tell you flat out, as soon as I saw that number come across, that when Chad said, hey, I think we're going to get hooked up with these guys, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go buy a steak dinner and have another entree.
So we've got here, I think this is the terms of the agreement that we have. So if you're a member of the Candid Athletic Training podcast, this is great podcasting for those of you who aren't watching on YouTube, but I'm going to try and read it so you can listen along here. If you are an athletic training student, you can get liability insurance for $59. If you're part-time employed, $89. If you're a full-time employed athletic trainer, you can get your professional liability insurance for $179 if you're a Candid Athletic Training member. Part-time self-employed $299 and full-time self-employed $624. So I think that's what that's the discount that our sponsors are giving to us. So that's the discounted rate. If you're not a member of the Candid Athletic Training podcast, you can still get liability insurance through Athletic Training Insurance Plus. Yeah. It's just not the lowest price you'll be able to get.
Right. And so all the listeners right now, we will share the website, the landing page that they have made for us so that you all have access to get the correct amount for your professional liability, and probably ask a lot of questions, fill out some paperwork. One question that keeps coming up, Joe, and before we keep letting you talk about anything else, a lot of athletic trainers are also strength and conditioning specialists. They have their CSCS, and they need to cover themselves on both ends. Is that an option with Athletic Trainer Insurance Plus?
Our coverage extends to strength and conditioning coaching as well.
Oh, look at that. Jesus.
It's just a simple answer.
Smiles everywhere.
Yes. It's just,
when was the last time you got a simple answer from insurance companies?
It's straightforward and to the point. We have another live stream question here. It says, if I'm a full-time employed and do PRN work occasionally, which one should I select? And I think this there was a question a couple of weeks ago when we first made this announcement. Can you just let people know the level, like what the how much coverage are they getting for what they're paying?
Sure. And by the way, in that scenario, you would look at, you always want to take what the highest level of anything that you're doing and apply it to there. And that would be your full-time professional employment level. So our retail rate, we retail that at $199, but of course we have a discount for anybody listening to this or watching this. So that would only come out to $179. But to get into a little bit of kind of what comes with that, what do you get with that? Because as I mentioned, it's not just the PL and GL that you receive. You do get professional and general liability, and of course, we know that professional liability is what's the malpractice insurance. So if an incident occurs that's due to the negligence of the athletic trainer, that's covered up to $1 million per occurrence, or up to $3 million per year. The same amount of coverage is applied for general liability, and of course, general liability is typically known as the slip and fall insurance, the freak accident insurance. Yeah. Interesting piece here is we find a lot more claims come in for general liability than we do professional liability. And to me, that tells a good story. That means athletic trainers are trained very well in what they're doing. They're not actually hurting people in general, but it's really hard to foresee that freak accident, the water that's leaking off the roof that causes somebody to slip and fall, or whatever freak accident might occur. So we see a lot more claims come in with that. And I find some comfort level in that because, again, athletic trainers are trained very well.
That's a really interesting point. Is that like just for your company, or is that like statistically like all athletic trainers across the country, regardless of who they're using, like claim wise?
That's an interesting question. I don't know the answer to that. I currently only have the data for what we offer and the coverage and the claims that we've seen come in. But I would love to get back to you with that answer. That's probably worth investigating.
And I'll tell you, Joe, I'm in a unique situation. Not a lot of athletic trainers like necessarily own their own business, but my professional liability is completely separate from my general liability. So I will rephrase, if I'm also including my general liability in this one policy, I mean, honestly, I am only going to be paying 1/3 of what I normally pay for insurance for those two policies. So that's pretty phenomenal. I'm not going to lie. I don't think I didn't even know an athletic trainer should have general liability until I started my own business. And it's the one that most people are going to probably have to utilize. Hopefully not, but at some point in their career, it might happen, because it's the things that you don't see, and it's the accidents that what insurance is truly for. Correct?
It really is, and you brought up a good point. Insurance is a strange psychological purchase because you're buying something that you hope you never use. Right. So it's, and we hope you never have to use it as well. But at the end of the day, we're here not for day-to-day usage or just small events. We're here to stop a life-altering, a career-changing event. And we see it every day. Again, 9 out of 10 people will never use the insurance. And that's a beautiful thing. And that's, again, why we're able to keep our costs so low, because loss ratios are so low. But, we see every day that one claim that comes in from somebody, and it could be, in so many cases, it's from somebody that they know, that they had a relationship with, they worked with for 10 years. An incident occurs, and that person has hospital bills, and they end up suing the athletic trainer, and then suing the location that they work with, and suing everybody who they can potentially get money out of. And, I find comfort in what we do, because we do protect those people from what could be a career-ending event.
Love it.
I don't know if you can see the comments in the live stream, Joe, but one of our members is mad that we haven't sent the link to him in the last 3 minutes because he's like, "I'm sold already.
sold.
Just send me the link." We might have our first referral by before 9:00 our time. So just so you know.
All right. Well, thank you guys. I'm out.
Yeah, you've done a nice job, Joe.
Right.
What about CPR instructors? Coverage include them?
We don't have it earmarked specifically for CPR, but if you do CPR instruction as a part of your athletic training or strength and conditioning, then that would be covered. We wouldn't necessarily offer coverage to somebody who just does CPR training, but again, if it's a part of the scope of your practice, it would be covered.
Interesting. Yeah.
I don't know if you had the data in front of you. Do you see a lot more claims from the PRN work or like the weekend coverage tournament, or do you see a lot more from just traditional employed athletic trainers?
You know what? I don't want to assume and speak on things that I don't 100% know of. I would believe it would be from probably just the general employed or self-employed athletic trainers. Sure. But I'd rather say I don't know and get back to you with that information.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I think that's one of those. Maybe next time we have you on, maybe we'll play like a little fun game, like just make it a guessing game. That's what we do here. We like how many. I would love to know. Honest to God, I would love to know. What kind of numbers are we talking about for the profession? Like how many claims, how many, lawsuits, like what is the amount of dollars that we're saving here or not saving in some cases? I think that's a really important conversation. And I think the Candid guys should be the ones to address it.
Absolutely.
At some point. So maybe we'll have you on in a couple months and maybe we'll play some sort of game like that.
I'd be delighted if with a little preparation, dig into some of these, because there's some very interesting numbers when you look into insurance claims and everything involved. And, without being able, of course, to give any specific details,
sure.
But I would love, I'd be delighted to be able to ping some numbers back and forth to kind of talk about what that looks like. Because, insurance is heavily regulated. There's laws regulating us. We can't overcharge for something. We have to stay within certain loss ratios. So, again, very open book about what that looks like.
Fantastic. But you guys said you guys were in a pretty unique situation, which is why you could, we've been looking for a long time for a partner in terms of professional liability insurance for this exact thing that we're trying to do, where we will help you reach all the athletic trainers that are listening to this show. And in return, we wanted to reward the people that take care of us, our members, and say, hey, can we get a discounted rate? You said you were in a unique situation where you guys can afford to do that. I think that's great.
Yeah, and I can explain a little bit why. And first off, I want to mention, because when you hear words like discount on insurance or things like that, some people start to pause and they say, well, I didn't think that was legal. And there's there are laws regulating those types of instances. So I just want to be very palms up.
And hopefully I'm not speaking incorrectly.
Oh, no. Everything is
completely
above board, but I just like to speak to it so that there's no considerations or a misunderstanding. And we created and sell our program as a membership program. So it's a membership. It's inclusive of liability insurance. There's a suite of member benefits that come with it, discounts on products and services related to athletic trainers, and a suite of other tools and employee benefits that they get from it. And every policy, the insurance company is paid, the underwriters are paid the exact same amount. So the little bit of margin we take is what is deducted from when we offer some type of discount. And the reason we're able to offer it so low is because we found a working model. When we built this business first in the massage space and the beauty space, we found a working model and built a technology that we're able to now facilitate the sale of these policies through an e-commerce solution, meaning that 70-something% of our customers never speak to a human. You can go online. You can literally get this process done in under 3 minutes. It can cost you, as you see, anywhere from $60 as a student to $700 as a $624 as a full-time self-employed. And you're covered with millions of dollars worth of coverage, and all without speaking to a human. And again, can be done in under 3 minutes. That e-commerce solution has allowed us to reduce a massive amount of costs, which, as most people know, customer acquisition is typically the highest cost prohibitive piece of any business. And by allowing an e-commerce solution, which we can facilitate through marketing and partnerships, we're able to reduce a tremendous amount of that customer acquisition cost, and of course, pass that savings on to our customers.
That's fantastic.
That's amazing. And we hope to help you with that in terms of acquiring as many. We want every athletic trainer that's listening to this podcast to join the Candid Athletic Training podcast membership program, and then go to Athletic Trainer Insurance Plus and get a discount on. I mean, you should have it. It's like I don't want to say necessary evil, but like you said, it's not sexy. It's like having car insurance. You wouldn't drive your car without it. You shouldn't operate your career without it,
Yeah, and you need to be properly covered. Ed, one of our loyal listeners, Ed, brought up a scenario. Some employers will actually say, no, like you probably don't need to get professional liability because you're covered under our umbrella policy. Maybe some thoughts on that, Joe? I feel like I know what the answer is going to be. I think you should probably always have your own insurance just in case, right? But any thoughts on that? If your employer is actually telling you, hey, no, we got it.
Yeah, so that's a challenge we face all the time. And to me, it's more of an educational piece to what we try to do is make people understand what they are covered for and what they aren't covered for in a typical employer-employee coverage relationship, because typically the coverage that extends to the business owner's policy, the guy that owns the business, that owns the studio, they typically do purchase a business owner's policy, and they extend some coverage to their trainers. But in almost all cases, that is simply general liability coverage. In most cases, there's no professional liability as a part of any of that, which means that they are still completely at risk if they do end up accidentally hurting somebody, some type of negligence, and that person is sued. They would be they were very much at risk of a major lawsuit and having to come out of pocket for that.
Awesome.
So that's one piece of it. So in most cases, it's just PL, not GL. And then of course, it's nice to have some additional coverage. For one, somebody sues you directly. If you do any work on the side, it's also good for the employer. And this is another thing I can't really foresee a reason why an employer would suggest somebody to not purchase their own, because that would offset the cost that potentially could happen to the employer. Because if an incident occurs and the person in which the incident occurs decides to sue the athletic trainer, they're probably also going to sue the business owner. Well, guess what? The athletic trainer, if they're covered by our policy, their policy is going to be the one that first hits. So they're going to have to pay out the claims. Now, if the claims go beyond the amount of coverage that the athletic trainer has, then it would hit typically the business owner's policy. So it would make sense for a business owner to require, or if at worst, encourage their folks to carry their own insurance.
One question. Most states across the nation have a pretty consistent minimum coverage. Some states have different coverage, like the 1 million and the 3 million and so forth. Is there options within your insurance plans, or is it just the one?
We have, so the way our programs work is that in the individual states that have different aggregates or different limits that are beyond what we would normally sell, then those states they would automatically be covered for that amount. Okay. We have elected, and again, this is almost everything we do is we have what is considered the strongest insurance in the business, but everything else we do is to try to keep the cost as low as possible for the athletic trainer. So keeping it as just one option is one of the things that does allow us to continue to offer it as low as the cost as we can. So it's just the one option. Now, I will say that there are, the folks that are much more dialed into the industry that know the different legal amounts for each state. I don't have those numbers in front of me, but they're the ones that built this policy and built it the way that, if let's say it's Arkansas, if Arkansas requires you to have 6 million, if you enroll in Arkansas, you'll see on the application, it'll show that you're getting 6 million aggregate.
Always Arkansas.
I don't want to pick on Arkansas. It might not be Arkansas.
That's okay. Arkansas, another question that came up. So, I think it's amazing. Right. You guys are figuring out how to save people money by basically saving yourselves money by being more e-commerce. If somebody has a question and they need to talk to a human, are there humans to talk to? Is there a number that people can call to ask specific questions? Everybody's situation is just a little bit different.
Not only are they humans, they're friendly. We make center of it. We focus so heavily on that side of the business. And not everybody loves Amazon, but Amazon has such a great model. They have a great customer service. They've really kind of paved the way for what a proper e-commerce solution can look like. And they don't shy away from customer service. I don't know if you've ever had to return something to Amazon or even make a phone call. I mean, those people are delightful and they answer the phone. Sure. And we do the same thing. We do have business hours. We have off hours. Our claims lines are open 24/7 because we know if you need somebody there, you absolutely need somebody. So those are open 24/7. But in terms of enrolling or just asking a customer service related question, we have a friendly, all licensed agents, staff ready to answer your questions and guide you too if you don't know exactly the direction to take.
This is fantastic.
One more thing I think we should bring up. Once someone's a member of Athletic Trainer Insurance Plus or ATIP, tell them about the perks, the perks rewards,
this membership.
So, but wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
So you give them discounts on other products for using your service.
That's right. Going back to the whole, purchasing insurance, that weird psychological thing where you're purchasing something that you hope you don't ever use. We thought of that and we realized that how great would it be is if we supplied something that they did use. That way, every year when you have to go back to what a lot of people consider this burdensome line item, oh, I have to pay for this insurance. Wouldn't it be nice if they looked at that and said, oh, I need to renew this because I am benefiting in this, and this way. So we go to great lengths to try to answer those questions. So we've built an insurance marketplace within this program. So if you buy into our program, you get access to group rates on dental insurance, vision insurance, a telemedicine program. We have a concierge service that'll walk you through the ACA to find you the best health insurance options. We're constantly forming partnerships with wonderful companies like Candid Athletic Training to find discounts and that we can add into our member portal to benefit athletic trainers. We also have discounts on some global things like Lenovo and Office Depot and UPS and things that are very meaningful to your business. So we do try to supply a suite of member benefits in hopes to offset that, that idea that, oh, I don't want to buy this because I don't want to use it. Hopefully they use it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
No, that's so cool that you've thought about that as well. I mean, obviously it's great marketing, but at the same time, like you said, this is it's a necessary cost that we all need to have every year, and hopefully you never use it. And in that case, it's like, it's just every year I got to write that check. But at the same time, maybe I'm going to save some money on the back end doing some other things and really get some of that cost back, right? So that's so cool. That's so cool.
And so and I don't mind throwing this out there, we are looking for partners in the space. So if anybody is interested, and there's ways that we can, try to help promote your business to our customer base and back and forth. So if, thank you guys again for helping to kind of spearhead some of these partnership elements that we're doing now. We really appreciate the exposure here. And I certainly don't mind using this platform to put out there that we're interested in talking to anybody who is interested in talking to us. Now, we are an insurance company. We have to vet anybody who we work with. We can only work with the top reputable folks in the industry because everybody's sketchy about insurance, and we cannot partner with any sketchy companies out there. So that's just the nature of the business we're in.
No, yeah, totally understand. Yeah. So if you know anybody that they need to hook up with listeners, by all means, reach out. I mean, I think you can definitely reach out to us. We can get a hold of Joe. I think, we do that organically a little bit on the podcast as well. We ask our listeners all the time, like, if we could get you a discount on X, like, is that something you'd be interested in? Becoming a member of the show, is it important to get discounts? Is it important to get, a free t-shirt, or is it important to and a lot of people want associated discounts. And so I think taking care of athletic trainers by being a member of, an insurance company, I mean, that's pretty awesome.
I mean, one thing that athletic trainers will let you know is that they wish they made more money. So I think you are doing the service for us and saving. I mean, realistically, everyone wants to spend less money. So thank you for providing the service. We think it's fantastic, and we're really super excited to be partnering with you guys. And this has been on our checklist for a long time. So
yes, has.
Somebody wanted to, we had one more live stream comment or question. He said, I know it's cheap, but do you offer payment plans?
You know what, we do now. I do want to be very palms up about this as well. As we've looked into the opportunity for monthly options, and because again we offer it at such a low cost. And I'm going to be honest with this too. Insurance companies typically want nothing to do with something that has a $600 premium to it. They want the the opportunity for 7-8 figure revenue from something for it to be worthwhile, because they're putting up a lot of risk on potential claims. So to be able to build a program like this is difficult anyway. But I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. What was the original question?
Payment plans.
Payment plans.
Monthly, payment plans. Yeah, sorry. So we've been looking into these monthly options, and it's just been challenging again because of the way our cost structure is. But we did end up partnering with PayPal, and they have allowed us to break our annual payments up into 12-month payments. So your relationship does end up being with PayPal. There is a little bit of a premium for that. Sure. They're going to take their cut, if you will. Yeah. The one thing I do want to mention is it doesn't flip it into a monthly option, meaning you can just pay for 3 months and then be done. They are going to expect the full payment over the course of 12 months. So if you stop paying, there's going to be a financial relationship between you and PayPal. They're going to come after that cash.
No, that's understandable.
Is there anything else that we should know from your perspective, Joe? I think we hit a lot of things.
Agreed.
If there's anything you can think of, otherwise what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the prices up on the screen one more time. We can run through those. So if you are a member of Candid Athletic Training, which if you're listening to this show, you should join our show. Just join our membership package.
Just do it.
So if you are a member of Candid Athletic Training and you are going to get new professional liability insurance with ATIP, if you're a student, it would be $59, part-time employee, $89, full-time employed, $179, part-time self-employed, $299, and full-time self-employed, $624. And I think that's pretty outrageous. I know I was spending more than that, and so I will be joining and saving. I'll be one of them.
Shaving. Yeah. So. Big time.
And so just to answer your question, if there's anything else I'd want them to know, simply that, it's not just the professional and general liability that comes with it. We really built this program to be almost to mirror what a business owner's policy would be, as if you owned a studio and you had W-2 employees. Though I do want to be clear, if you have W-2 employees, in most cases there's going to be different state, every state has different laws, but there's probably going to be additional insurances you're going to have to purchase, like workman's comp and things like that. But if you're a solo practitioner and you own your own business, and everybody who works with you or for you is an independent contractor, in a lot of cases, our program might cover what you would need as a business owner. And the reason is because it not only comes with the professional liability, the general liability, there's a Good Samaritan coverage in there for $25,000. There's a loss of earnings coverage up to $10,000. There's assault on you coverage up to $25,000. There's rental damage up to $100,000. If you sign a lease, they're going to require you to have some type of rental damage insurance. We include it in ours. There's deposition expense coverage up to $10,000, and then product coverage up to $1 million. So if a product you use causes a burn or allergic reaction or an injury, that's all covered, and that's all within our program at that low cost that we were talking about.
Wow,
it's amazing.
Wow.
And so if you're a member of the show, we automatically will send you an email with the link for the discounted rates. But if for some reason somebody doesn't want to join the Candid Athletic Training podcast, but they still want to go with you, Joe, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Well, the easiest way would be to go to Athletic Trainer Insurance Plus, and there's a phone number right on there. There's email addresses. I'll give you my email address right here, which is jfagan@directtopolicyholder.com. Direct to Policyholder was the software we built to facilitate the e-commerce solution here. So that's where that comes from. But it's JFAGAN at direct, DIRECT, to policyholder.com, direct to policyholder.com.
Otherwise, athletictrainerinsuranceplus.com.
Athletic Trainer, which is singular, not trainers, Athletic Trainer InsurancePlus.com. I just say that because half the time I'll type in athletic trainer. When I first started this, I would type in athletic trainers. We still need to buy that URL, but we haven't yet. Anyway, Athletic Trainer InsurancePlus.com.
Love it. This is amazing.
Yeah, so we're super excited. We're happy that it's here. It's official. So we wanted to bring you on. Like I said, we in a couple months we can do this again, and just talk about insurance in general and the state of liability. I don't know. Nothing sounds more exciting than that to me. So
yes, love it. Appreciate it a lot, Joe.
I'm sorry.
Appreciate it a lot. We like really thank you for coming on. Thank you for talking insurance, actually making it pretty exciting. Saving money is always exciting, and knowing that like there is an insurance company out there that's working towards their members, and I think actually trying to also figure out how to have insurance for multiple different professionals, I think is very, very cool, because I'll tell you right now, the last month trying to find insurance for this new space that I just built, and figuring all that out, I've talked to many different insurance companies, and some of them are just confused at what we do, and they don't get what an athletic trainer is. So the fact that an insurance company is taking that step to do that, that's pretty awesome, and we appreciate it.
Oh, well, thank you. I'll never hear enough of that. I really appreciate the kind words. It really validates what we're doing. We love what we do, and insurance was never something I would have originally thought I would have gotten into, but I'll be honest with you, after being in this business for as long as I have and seeing the people that we protect and the stories I hear, I absolutely love it. And to be able to do this it's delightful. And thank you guys for the platform.
Yeah.
All right, Joe. Thank you so much.
Have a good night. Thanks again.
Thank you. Take care.
All right.
Really cool.
Well, if anybody's got more questions, you heard his email address directly, Joe Fagan, and I think reach out to him. You can reach out to us if you didn't catch the email address, and we probably can pass that on to you. It's athletictrainerinsuranceplus.com. You could probably find a lot of answers there. It sounds like they have a pretty good website to navigate and make it easy to get your insurance. So that's pretty cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah, this is something we've been working on for a while. Well, I should say Chad's been working on for a while. We all need insurance. We all need professional liability insurance. And we thought, hey, how cool would it be if there could be a discount associated with Candid Athletic Training, guys? And here we are. We're live. We're doing it. And I'm gonna send out the link tonight after the show to all of our current members. And then every member, as you sign up, you'll get it. You'll get like an automated, just, hey, here's how you save money.
It's so cool.
So cool.
So, all right, let's do our weekly shenanigans.
Let's do it. Shoot, I pushed the wrong one.
That's okay. So before we get into tonight, we do have a couple other sponsors we want to thank. Smart Tools. Check them out. Smart Tools. SmartToolsPlus.com. 10% off anything that Smart Tools has to sell by using the code Candid10.
Candid10. And, just a reminder, we will be having them on in a little over a month. April.
I think it's the first Tuesday in April.
Yeah, in conjunction with their new BFR cups they've come out with. So you can pre-order them now.
Did you order yours already?
No, I got to get a hold of Ed and
for
Nick.
Sure.
I want to talk to them directly and see if I can't figure out how to even maybe in the future set up a little show and tell here at the space.
Yeah, you should.
That'd be awesome. Who's next?
Human Kinetics.
Hey, learn some stuff.
How many CEUs do you think we've given away so far?
Well, we have 3 left.
So 9 times 6 is 54. We've given away 54 CEUs courtesy of Human Kinetics. We have 18 CEUs to give out. We have 3 more courses that are 6 CEUs each. So they've been a sponsor for now, it must be 4.5 months. So thank you to them. You can get 20% off any of their CEU courses by using the code CANDIDCEU. So check them out at humankinetics.com. So So that's everyone that we have to thank. Kevin.
Joyce or me?
You. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go with this?
Let's go fat.
Fatty. All right, Kevin. I'm obsessed right now with The Last of Us, but we didn't want to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. So we thought, what's another show that's in that same genre?
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest shows ever,
Probably.
I would think.
Yeah,
I've never seen a single second of it, but we asked, which character from The Walking Dead would make the best athletic trainer and why?
And just also, man, I'll tell you what, the beginning credits, the song, man, it gets you moving every single time.
Does it?
Man, there's something about that, right? The opening song to a TV show. Oof. It's kind of like when you start watching a Marvel movie or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Walking Dead. I mean, there's a million characters. And so I will say, anybody listening, give us who you think. Like, who do you think from The Walking Dead would have done well as an athletic trainer?
So we put it up on social media, and I'm going to read some of our responses on Candid_ATC Twitter. Lauren Hoyt said, she said nothing because my phone went dead. Herschel.
Trust this computer.
Herschel also had medical training and was cautious, maybe too cautious.
He was a veterinarian.
Glenn, kind, resourceful, compassionate. Josh Dawsey said, Carl, he just shows growth and maturation like an AT career. Has seen trauma and adapted and overcame.
Okay.
That's who you were going to say, Carl?
No, my whole point of Carl, I wrote him down, was the fact that, this kid has become stone from everything that he's seen, and now in a bad way, because he saw a lot of really crappy things and had to do a lot of crappy things when he was 7 years old. But he 100% has adapted to the environment he is in, and has very much he's hardened athletic trainer as a youngster.
Ed said Negan because no one would mess with him and his baseball bat.
Hell yeah.
And on the live stream, he said, because I could be as blunt as he is, and he takes no crap, and he has a phenomenal read on people.
He does, actually. Negan is, honestly, as much as he's quote-unquote a bad guy, would make a pretty good athletic trainer.
Keith Shireman said, I think Daryl would be a good AT. He is very resourceful and can fix anything. And then Andre Rivera II said, a walker. And I don't know what that means.
A zombie.
A walker. Any zombie would be...
Yeah, because they're just walking around just blindly following where the food is.
All right.
Literally just trying to find food. Just, there's food over there, I'm going to walk over there. Oh, there's food over there, I'm going to walk over there. And not thinking.
So who do you have? You've got some things written down over there.
Well, I mean, the classic characters, Rick, he...
Is that Rick Cox?
Rick Cox, yeah. Rick Cox might have played he might have been a good person to play that part. He's a sheriff, okay? He's a cop. So all the things that come with that, but he's a tough one because he becomes this leader and everybody's looking to him, but he struggles with it, and he has his moments that he breaks down, and he's not quite as good of a leader, and then sometimes he's like the ultimate leader, and he's the one that did the dirty work and had to do the dirty work so that his people were safe. He seems more like the coach that half the team loves and half the team is like, I think maybe he's just a hard ass, and he's really, I don't know if this is really the right spot for me. He's a little more of a coach.
Interesting. Okay.
I think, at least. I agree with Daryl. So Daryl is all things outdoorsman. He
survivalist.
Very, very, very much a survivor. He makes do with the least amount. He knows how to make a kick-ass motorcycle. He's a tracker, so he's really good at following the clues to a solution, following the clues to a, find a human or anything else. Resourceful. He goes from being this, like, I'm a loner and I'm the only, like, I only care about me and, like, F all y'all. But then he ends up being, like, pretty much an ultimate team player. And he learns how to work with the team, and he learns how to, use his skill set to its best capabilities, but then also be there for other people in a very sneaky way. So he's actually a pretty solid case. Carol is just, she goes from being scared, not knowing much, to just an ultimate badass. Now, I would say,
who's the main character in this?
Originally,
yeah,
Rick.
Okay.
Originally, it's Rick,
the sheriff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that's the series starts off with Rick, and then it just morphs into the family, the group that is the group, and no spoilers, I would say. Now Carol's got her issues. She goes from being like that, like, motherly figure to a little bit more of a loner, to then a little bit more of a team player. I mean, she ebbs and flows in this world of, even at times, like, you're not allowed to show compassion in this new world. You're just going to have to do what I say. And sometimes that doesn't really go well with athletic trainers. Maggie, smart, leader, very much grows into a character that is who people look to for answers. If somebody needs a thought out, very logical, but then also compassionate answer, Maggie's your person. Glenn was mentioned. He's kind of, everybody loves Glenn. I mean, I'd be hard pressed to find somebody that doesn't like Glenn. But at the same time, I think he's, well, I don't know. He's kind of a worker. He's kind of like, he's somebody that you can always count on to be there, get the job done, and also not necessarily complain that maybe life is hard. So he's also a lover.
Do you have anybody else written down there or no?
There's plenty of people, but I mean, Carl Michonne, badass, quiet, does her thing. She also is very, very interestingly, like, in tune with people. Like, she can relate to a lot of different people, even though she doesn't necessarily come off as this people person. We'll say it. Like, I mean, she's kind of,
I'm a people person.
She's kind of like standoffish a little bit in the beginning. She figures out answers to problems different than everybody else. And so I think there's this aspect of thinking outside the box, and she does a really good job at that. She's also badass. Now there's probably another 20 characters on the show that you can bring up that, like, oh, well, this person has medical training, or this person has that.
Let's do rapid fire here.
Okay.
Who's the best multitasker?
Ooh, multitasker.
Go ahead and answer on the live stream too.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say Maggie or Daryl.
Best multitasker.
Like two different directions of multitasking.
Michonne? Kevin said Michonne. How about this?
She's a good multitasker too, though.
Best under pressure.
Oh. Not Rick. Daryl, I would say Daryl's the one that can straight face people and be like, he's not blinking, but he might cry in the corner after everybody's gone, like we do as athletic trainers. Everybody's gone, and we're in our like Office. Carol's a good one too. That's actually a solid choice for that as well.
Best taper.
Taper.
Hand, eye, coordination, dexterity, whatever you want to call it.
If I had to guess, I'm trying to think if there was any kind of like episode where like somebody had to tape something, because there is like there's lots of times where like somebody's got to like bandage somebody up because whatever they got cut or whatever. Herschel maybe, because he's pretty familiar with the medical supplies. Okay. Let's just go Herschel.
All right. Best at evals. Best like thought-provoking questions. Dig deeper.
Oh, the actual questions of the eval. I'm gonna say,
isn't that
Rick has his questions that he asks everybody. So we're just gonna go Rick. He's got his 3 questions he asks everybody.
It's like the same 3 questions.
Yeah, and it's how he gauges whether or not somebody's like kind of been living this new age world the same. Ooh, Negan. Negan for sure. No, I changed my great one, Kev. Negan is definitely the best eval because he would ask you a question to get you probably like off your toe, like on your toes, like you're oh my god, and then like he's gonna ask another question to like ebb and flow this way in order to get the answer that you never thought you were actually gonna give. He's definitely a master manipulator with questions.
How about this? Best at coming up with a rehab plan.
Thought out long-term plans. Maggie, for sure. Maggie. We'll go Maggie.
And the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Not that this, I don't know, we've never really asked it this way. But, personality, like who's going to have the respect of the athletes the most?
I want to say, I think Daryl's going to be the athletic trainer that all the athletes want to be around, even though he's kind of like, no. Like, I don't need to see you. I think Maggie. I'm going to go Maggie.
There was a Glenn or Morgan.
Ooh, Morgan. Oh, Morgan. He's an interesting fella. Morgan. I forgot about Morgan as a possibility.
So overall, give me your top 2 here. Because we'll probably have a couple of these on our fat bracket coming up.
Morgan kind of like skyrocketed. Maggie, for sure. And I think Negan. Honestly.
All right. Maggie and Negan?
Yeah. I think Maggie and Negan.
I'll take your word for it. I've not seen it. So
I'd be interested.
You've not seen The Last of Us.
Nope.
But you've seen this. Is this in your top 10 favorite shows of all time?
It was climbing there. For sure. Until I don't know what season is, but I'd say it's the classic show that you watch the first 3 seasons and you're like, oh my god, like this is a great show. And then the 4th season you're like, oh man, they just redid like the exact same storyline. And then the next season you're like, okay guys, no, like literally, can we come up with something new? And then it gets interesting again. Classically, as you can imagine, end of the world kind of show. They're going to kill off people when you don't want them to be killed off, things like that. I would say if you would have asked me this question after the first 6 seasons, I would have said, yeah, this is probably going to be in my top 10 shows. Now, no, I wouldn't say it. But I am rewatching it slowly. I think I'm in season 4.
Sure.
I want to say it's better the second time around. I'm catching things that I didn't catch before. But I wouldn't put it in my top 10, no. I don't know the end of the show. I have not seen like I never saw the last 2 seasons. And so therefore it might surprise me. I have no idea. But the fact that I didn't even know whether or not the show was over tells me there's some kind of like everybody fell off and kind of said, you guys, this show, you went on way too long.
Fair enough. I'd be interested to see if people who have seen both would like which one they'd like more, The Last of Us or The Walking Dead.
I bet right now, I mean, with the publicity and like how much people are talking about The Last of Us, I hear The Last of Us being talked on like podcasts, and they're like, "Oh my God, have you seen this show?"
Yeah,
and
it's well done.
Yeah, so I would assume right now people are like, "No, this is going to be an amazing show."
I've got one buddy who has seen both, and he said The Last of Us is really well executed, like visually. It's like really pretty cool.
And I think, I don't know, it's one of those shows of Walking Dead. It's like, oh, who would you be kind of idea.
I don't know if I said this last week, but I have a running total, or I've got a notebook at work where on the left side I'm keeping track of everything I'm watching this year. I'm going to rate, like give it a rating.
Yeah.
And then on the right, I've got everything I want to watch.
Yeah. Little Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
remember those guys? Jeez.
Yeah.
Now people just do it on podcasts.
Yeah, like ours.
They might be close to. I mean, they might be like the original movie podcast. It's kind of funny.
They were before their time.
They were.
All right.
What's next?
So The Walking Dead. Thank you. Do you want to do our? Yeah, we can do our top 5.
Top cinco.
I should probably calculate them.
I don't know how to say top in Spanish.
I don't know either. So Kevin, top 5 survey this week.
Arriba.
We asked 100 athletic trainers in a given month, how many meals do you miss because of work?
How many meals a month do I miss because of work?
Yeah.
Well, good thing I'm not counting this month because it's too many. All right. 1. I miss 1 meal a month for work. I miss 10 meals a month. And then I got logical about it. I said 4, 1 a week. I miss 1 meal a week. 1 a day, 30. And then I thought, what if you only work Monday through Friday? Then I'm going to miss 20 meals a week because of work.
So you had
I'm sorry, 20 meals a month.
20, 30, 4, 10, and 1.
Correct, sir.
Okay. Oh boy, we had a tie. I mean, we had a top 4, but then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things tied for 5th place. So we had a top 9. Do you want me to just go with the top 4? So the top 4 this week. 11 athletic trainers said that they miss 20 meals a month.
I'm there.
We'll circle that one. We had a tie for 2nd place. 13 athletic trainers apiece said they would miss 15 or 10.
Oh, okay.
And then in 1st place, 21 athletic trainers said they miss 0 meals a month.
Wow.
So I think that's really interesting.
Oh. That's phenomenal. Good for you.
You should not miss meals because you're working too much.
I do it all the time.
I do. Well, I don't anymore. I don't anymore, but I did in the traditional setting.
Yeah.
So, all right. So think about that. 21 people said they don't miss any. That means 79 out of 100 athletic trainers miss at least 1 meal a month.
I mean, I could comfortably
80%.
say
4 out of 5 athletic trainers are not eating 3 meals a day.
I at least miss 3 meals a week.
Now, it would be interesting to see which meals you're missing. Like, did people answer?
Mine's tough because my schedule's everywhere.
When I was at the setting, I would most likely miss lunch. Or breakfast. Sometimes I wouldn't. I would just, I guess. I don't know. I would never miss dinner because I would just eat whenever I got home. Whether that was 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, maybe that's 4.
Right.
It didn't matter. I would eat when I got home. But while I'm at work, if I did not prep for the day and I did not order out.
Yeah. Yeah. I will for sure multiple times a week. Even sometimes I'll bring a lunch and sometimes I don't get to it. But
isn't that crazy? Why can we not? Why is it okay for us to not take time for ourselves?
I don't know. I mean, I think for myself, I chose my schedule. Like, I think in my setting, if I don't get to it, it's just because I've been busy enough that it hasn't been like, oh, I need to stop and eat, right? And not that that's necessarily a good thing, but it's also, I'm not somebody that's like, I eat when I'm hungry. Like, so.
You're like a dog.
Yeah, totally. No, not really. Because my dog eats when I put food in his bowl.
Sure. My dog's the opposite.
Yours is the opposite.
Yeah.
I would say, I don't know. And my schedule is not, well, right now it's very busy. But traditionally at the clinic, I mean, I'm truly only seeing patients for like 25 hours a week. But they're all over the place. Like some are early mornings and some are like afternoon. Like tonight, I treat people until 7 o'clock at night. And so each day is just like this little bit different. Like on the days that I'm here until 7, sometimes I eat dinner at the clinic. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I wait until I get home. And that's like, I don't know. I'm not consistent with it, so I guess I'm a bad example.
So let me
I don't think it's necessarily like I don't take time for myself or anything.
Well, 79 out of 100 people are not getting 3 meals a day. Do
you need 3 meals a day?
Well, that's where I was going. As a society, do we eat too much? Is that what we're saying?
The answer is yes, but unless you're like a bodybuilder.
As a healthcare professional,
yeah.
Should we be nourishing ourselves 3 times a day? Is 3 times a day too much? Are we supposed to be setting an example? There's a lot to this question.
I don't know. Do you follow the food pyramid?
Do as I say, not as I do kind of thing with your athletes? Like, no, you should be eating 3 times a day, but I'm not gonna. I mean, the caloric an athlete needs more food than somebody who's not an athlete. I think that's safe to say, although
I mean, I would say you need more calorie intake for the most part. You're burning more calories for the most part. But it's just kind of how you get those calories. And some people, it's just like to get them to be 3 times a day, it just doesn't, that's not what works best for their body.
You know what? Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I think if it's dealer's choice, if it's you doing it upon yourself, so be it. Hey, you know what? I'm not hungry. I'm not going to eat right now. But I think the problem is the profession gets to be this, I am so jam-packed that I wasn't afforded the time to eat. That's a problem. Well, would you agree with that?
In a way. I think your settings are very dependent. I mean, does your setting, I don't subscribe to the idea that every athletic trainer should be able to take a half an hour break in the middle of the day. No. But I also subscribe to the idea that if you are an athletic trainer and you chose to be an athletic trainer and you chose to be an athletic trainer in the traditional setting, you chose that. Nobody put a gun to your head and said you have to work at a college.
But I guess I have a small disagreement is in that shouldn't eating and not necessarily exercising, but being able to stop what you're doing for at least a couple minutes and take care of yourself be just as important as, isn't that more important than maybe the one extra treatment you have to do?
I don't know.
Shouldn't it be? Shouldn't you put yourself first?
Not always.
You shouldn't? You shouldn't put yourself first?
We talk about this profession also being like the reason you get into it is because you put other people ahead of you, right? And that is a quality not necessarily a necessity, but a quality that a lot of athletic trainers are really good at, and what makes them a good athletic trainer.
I also am getting, as I get older and more like,
absolutely,
what makes more sense.
Sure.
There needs to be a paradigm shift, or this like, look, let's not play. I think is martyr the right word? Like the woe is me. Mm-hmm. Like, look at how, like, no, let's make it make sense.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I do think that there should naturally be in your day time to eat.
Absolutely.
Right? I don't subscribe to the idea that like athletic training is a profession in the traditional setting that calls for like union break. Like, all right, everybody stop what you're doing.
Sure. Any like, healthcare professional.
Yeah. I mean, you should have the ability, if you work with other athletic trainers, that, you know, your schedules are set up so that you do have this break, right? I don't think where the break could come from is a sacrifice to the athletes, but I do think maybe something there's administrative. Maybe there's like busy work that you have to do that like, this is ridiculous. Why is the athletic trainer, I don't know. One thing when I was in baseball, fortunately, before I was in the minor leagues, they made the switch. But the athletic trainers used to handle all of the food mm-hmm. and all of the travel arrangements. Well, why? Like, I'm an athletic trainer. I'm supposed to be here for, like, injuries and so forth. Yeah. Like, why am I responsible for making sure that the visiting clubhouse or whatever has enough peanut butter and jelly sandwiches?
Sure.
Like, that kind of thing is not athletic training, but we take it on. But do I ever think that like we should do one less treatment so that we can eat? Absolutely not. 100% not.
I guess I'm just not subscribed to the fact that if I took 15 minutes to take care of myself, that my patients are going to suffer that much.
Yeah, maybe. Right. But like, see, again, when is that? Like, can you take 15 minutes just like it's halftime? You know, it's like, okay, it's halftime for me too.
Sometimes I would.
Right? Sure. I'm sure you ate in the dugout.
I mean, I think there needs to be some planning around it. Like, you know what your day sort of is going to look like. You can't guarantee when an injury is going to happen, but you know, hey, today I just have practice. Today I have a game. Here's where when pregame is, when postgame treatments are, yada, yada, yada. You can figure out a schedule and have some flexibility, but I'm just saying taking 10 to 15 minutes to take care of yourself should be, to me, a bigger priority.
Anytime you said 15 minutes, I just wanted to say 15% on your car.
Yeah, you should have.
And I'm like, we just had insurance
on. Because you said you don't subscribe to the fact that we deserve a 30-minute break.
I don't think, no, I think we deserve. Yeah. I don't, and don't get me wrong, I just don't think that it is this, like, that needs to be built into traditional athletic training settings. Like, because athletic training is unique, and it's a very different environment to be working in. Sure. Just like nursing, just like
sure.
Being a teacher, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. But
maybe it's just I got old and
it's like for sure. I mean, like 10 years ago, you didn't have this mentality whatsoever. Yeah. Whatsoever. You were like, I don't know, I just don't eat.
For sure.
Well, I had a bar. I brought my gluten-free bar,
and I would consider that eating, I guess.
Sure.
If you have like a bar or a shake, meal replacement, whatever.
Yeah, and I will say, there's a lot of factors there, but I think,
but maybe
I don't think it should be like this standardized thing though. Like, again, like so the 8-hour day, right? Whenever that came about, and like I forget what the years, like, and that was a necessary thing because people were being like driven into the ground by employers that like there had to be some sort of standard of like what a full day looked like.
Yeah.
I don't think athletic training necessarily has to or should really in the traditional setting be like, nope, you can't work any more than 8 hours. I think it's part of the profession.
Sure.
You worked 10 to 12-hour days all the time, and then you got 2 months off.
Yeah.
Like, it's just part of it. And even, like, I think, like, teachers, I mean, my sister-in-law is like, what, like, the first thing she says, and she's half joking, but it's like, why are you a teacher? June, July, and August.
Yeah.
I get the 3 best months in my state off.
Yeah.
Every single year.
I think maybe the devil's advocate argument to that is if we had some more built-in downtime, if we had those, if we were afforded the, hey, you know what, you deserve a lunch break or some downtime or whatever, maybe you don't get burned out as fast. Maybe instead of being in the traditional setting 15 years, I would have stayed 20. Maybe. I don't know.
I think 100% the argument should be not necessarily how do we change, like, that individual workplace. How do we get more athletic trainers? There should be 2 athletic trainers covering a certain sport, right?
So somebody can take the Jimmy John's run.
Or exactly. Or even down to, like, traveling, right? You've traveled numerous times in your career. We've talked about it. Sometimes traveling is nice.
Yeah.
Because it's like sometimes you do less.
Yeah.
You're gone and you miss stuff, but sometimes you do less. Your days are shorter. You can't get to the field as early. You don't have the option to do X, Y, and Z, and so you just can't do it. So sometimes you don't need 2 athletic trainers. You only need 1. When I was in the NBA for like 2 years, I wasn't in the NBA, but I helped out with the NBA. There was one team, the Celtics, at that time. Miami Heat come in, 3 athletic trainers, a physical therapist, a massage therapist, strength and conditioning guy for 12 guys traveling. Then some other team, there's 4 athletic trainers. There's another team has 2 athletic trainers, 2 physical therapists. Boston Celtics, 1 guy.
Yeah.
It was the 1 guy. And I was like, you're the only guy. And he's like, yeah, there's 12 guys. Like, what, like, do you see me doing anything right now? I taped that guy. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
He's like, it's unnecessary, right? Sometimes it's overkill in professional ranks, but at the same time, that maybe one person travels this road trip, maybe another person travels another road trip. I think it's a case for, like, we got to get more athletic trainers, not necessarily change the profession. We need more athletic trainers and more employers saying, you guys are fucking valuable. We need more of you.
Absolutely.
And then you would get breaks.
All right, we're going to wrap up with our F, Marry, Kill tonight. How's that sound?
Yeah.
I live for the funk.
Who is this from again?
This is from David Piker.
Piker.
Last week he said, he brought this up on the show. On the
you
live
look like a
stream.
boxer.
He wanted us to do, we don't always get called the right thing.
Asshole?
Well, yeah. We don't always get called athletic trainer.
We don't.
And we talked about the, what was the word we used?
Nomenclature.
The nomenclature.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm the one. Yeah. So is the nomenclature important? And so F, Marry, Kill being called the 3 various spin-offs of that we hear most often.
Yeah.
Trainer, coach, and doc.
It's an interesting one. Okay, so I'm going to kill Doc.
What's up, Doc?
I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
I'm just not. Like,
It's a strong argument. Are you a coach? Yeah, sure, a little bit. I can coach. I can coach you through some movement patterns.
Yeah. I mean, I think for the most part, I'm coaching you through, maybe some, we'll call it, sports wellness, movement. I don't know. Yeah. So I'm gonna F that one, and then I'm gonna marry trainer. I will gladly marry trainer. I've said it before. It doesn't bother me. It gives me an opportunity to talk about the profession. It gives me an opportunity to just maybe sometimes not talk about the profession. I don't know. I think it doesn't insult me. I'm not saying it shouldn't insult other people. It doesn't bother me.
Sure.
So I guess my wife doesn't bother me.
I wish I could argue with you here, but I think I totally agree. I think you have to marry of these three.
I just can't. I also can't stand when people are called doc and they're not doctors. Like it bothers me.
Does it bother you when people call themselves doc? Or like when people like...
It doesn't bother me if somebody says, "Oh, I'm Dr. So-and-so." That doesn't bother me. I think it's I don't know. It's kind of letting you... no, it doesn't bother me when somebody's actually a doctor. I don't know. I think it does bother me slightly that, like, I wish there was a distinction between being a doctor and what we all, like, associate being a doctor.
MD?
An MD.
A medical doctor?
I wish there was a distinction between that and people getting their doctorate.
Sure.
Not that I don't think that you should be respected for doing that much effing work to get your doctorate. I just think, like, why are they all called the same thing? Like, why does everybody have the same initials before their names? Like, it's weird to me.
Yeah.
I think it's weird that there's DPTs. I think it's weird. You're not a doctor. Like,
they're a doctor of physical therapy.
Yeah, you're a doctor of something, right?
So they should be a DO?
I don't know.
Doctor of?
Maybe.
Dopes.
There are DOs. There's DOs everywhere, which are great doctors.
So would a doctor of athletic training be a dote?
A dote. Ooh, the dotes and the goats.
The dotes and the goats.
The dotes and the goats.
The doctor of. We're just going to start calling
I would definitely walk around if I had my doctorate in athletic training being like,
I'm the dote.
I'm a dote. Dat.
Yeah, I trainer is, as much as we bitch about it, it's the closest thing to...
It's still in the name. People are just lazy.
It's just shortened.
People are just lazy.
It's like me calling you Kev. It's not really your name. It's just shortened a version. We're going to get mad. And it's all about intent.
It is all about intent.
There's for all intents and purposes, there's trainer, and it can mean two different things. It can be like well-intended, like, yeah, I just shortened it, or it can be, I have no idea what you do.
Absolutely.
So I think intent is really what's the most important thing. So,
and I do.
In terms of coach, I don't know, like,
I don't like it. I really don't like it when people do call athletic trainers coach.
Yeah, it's weird to me. Like, there's, you're not the coach. You're not the sport coach. I mean,
at no point is there, like, anywhere in athletic training that, like, the word coach really is applied to us. I think people just are like, you're not a player on the team, and so therefore you're a coach because you are like, the coaches live. I should put my hand over here. Your coaches live here, right? Like, they're supposed to be a little bit more respected and, like, know what they're talking about. And then the players are all supposed to be learning from those people. And so people just kind of lump us in.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't bother me as much as if somebody was, like, calling an athletic trainer doc. Now, granted, there are doctor athletic trainers. And so I guess you can do that.
Are we more? I'm not even.
Yes.
We're more like a doc than we are a coach, are we?
Correct. I mean, I do think so. Yeah. 100%. I'm not like
Dr. Light.
Yeah, 100%. That's the new business name, Dr. Lights. Light doctors.
Shit. We can spend
diet doctors. Diet Dr. Peppers.
This show has gone too long. We just hit the skid marks.
Oh, we did.
That's all I got.
That's all I got,
let's shut it down. So thanks to Joe Fagan for jumping on with us tonight at Athletic Trainer Insurance Plus. Make sure to become step one, get yourself a Candid Athletic Training podcast membership. Step two, get discounted rate on Athletic Training Insurance Plus. It's that simple.
Yep. And if you aren't a member, but you still want to, what appears to be one of the lower prices in your athletic training professional liability insurance and general liability, I mean, go check them out. Athletic Trainer Insurance Plus. Thank you to our other sponsors, Healthy Roster, Go to Healthy Roster for all your EMR needs. They are the best. Dan and all the folks over there are amazing. Thank you to Smart Tools. They really have some great products. Candid 10 will be your code as a listener to the Candid Athletic Training Podcast. 10% off all of their products over there. Human Kinetics. Candid CEU for 20% off all of their, they got books, basically. It's a lot of books, audio books, or where you can actually read. Why can't I think of the word?
Courses.
Yeah, like an online course. Pretty great. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of books on there that you can learn whatever the hell you want. Candid CEU. We also have a few more free CEUs to give away. 6 CEUs each time we give one away. 3 of our lucky listeners. So if you want to become an Candid Athletic Training member to get those discounts on insurance and then possibly get some free CEUs, do it. CandidAthleticTraining.com. We'll see you guys all later.
Bye.
Bye.